You've said before that Japan should take action if dollar yen breaks above 130. We did reach those levels a few days or weeks ago, but they didn't. At what point do you think the BOJ will intervene in the currency market? How likely is that now?
Well, it's not likely. Intervention is only effective when, agreed with the other party. But I don't think the United States would agree to intervene at this moment. The development seems to be favorable to the U.S. and intervention would not be, approved by the United States. So that I think intervention at this moment is very difficult.
Let's go back to late 1990s when you were at the MOF. It was the middle of the Asian financial crisis. You had dollar yen north of 130. And the U.S. joined the BOJ to buy yen at the time. What did you learn from that experience?
G7 deputies, including the United States and Japan, meet maybe 6 times or 7 times a year, so that they know each other quite well, so that, communication isn't that difficult. Take, for example, when I was the Vice Minister of Finance, my counterpart in the United States was Larry Summers. And we contacted with each other quite often, particularly when something happens in the market. So
if barring any kind of coordinated intervention, do you see anything that the BOJ can do? They didn't take the last meeting to try to adjust their yield curve control, but do you see in the near future, are they going to have to address this?
Central bank is not that much worried about depreciation of the currency at this moment. This has happened because of the difference of the monetary policy of the two countries. So that, reason is very clear. It's not the Japan selling. So that I don't think that neither Bank of Japan or Japanese government is worried about the current state of affairs with regard to the exchange rate.
When is the weaker yen going to be a problem for the BOJ? At what level do you think it becomes intolerable?
Well, it's very difficult. It depends upon the case. Depends upon what would be the sort of state of affairs of the Japanese economy. But the market expects the yen dollar rate would probably go to $150. If it goes beyond 150, then I think, Bank of Japan would be somewhat, concerned.
So do you see it going to 150? How much lower do you think the yen can go?
Well, market expectation is that toward the end of the year, it will go between 140 and 150. So that it is quite possible that yen would reach that level.
You mentioned that they're not too worried about a weaker yen at this point. Net, do you think a weaker yen is good or bad for the Japanese economy?
Well, it's not that good, but at this level, it's not such a critical sort of situation. We could tolerate that, even if it goes to 140, 150.
In terms of the BOJ hiking rates, is that, when do you ever see that actually happening?
Well, it depends upon the, conditions of the Japanese economy at that moment. But, deflation period is over and the Japanese prices continue to increase. So that there would be a time when Japanese economy gets a little bit overheated. And at that time, maybe toward the end of this year or early next year, Bank of Japan may raise the interest rates. And I think market expect the raising of the interest rate to happen sometime next year toward the summer.